Is this American serial killer responsible for 5 mysterious murders in 2023? The case of Jesse Lee Calhoun, a 39-year-old accused of being a serial killer, has captivated public attention and sparked widespread concern. Indicted in May of 2024, Calhoun faces 3 counts of second-degree murder and 3 counts of second-degree abuse of a corpse in connection with the deaths of Charity Lynn Perry, Joanna Speaks, and Bridget Leanne Webster, killing the 3 women within a 50-day span. The case is further complicated by his potential connection to additional victims, including Kristen Smith and Ashley Reel. This case review explores the timeline of events, the nature of the crimes, the investigative process, and the broader implications of Calhoun's indictment. The unsettling case against Jesse Lee Calhoun revolves around a series of brutal murders that have shocked the Portland, Oregon area. The victims, all young women with seemingly no connection to one another, were discovered in various stages of decay across a span of months, suggesting a chilling pattern of premeditated violence and body manipulation by Calhoun. Kristen Smith, a 22-year-old resident of Gresham, Oregon, was the first victim linked to Calhoun. Smith's disappearance was reported in late December 2022, a period marked by increasing concern from her family and friends. Her body was discovered on February 19, 2023, in a wooded area near Southeast Deerdorf Road and Southeast Flavel Street. The circumstances of her death were initially vague, but her body's location and condition hinted at a grim scenario. Smith's death, coupled with her earlier disappearance, set the stage for the investigation that would eventually implicate Calhoun. Joanna Speaks, 32, became the second victim in the series of murders attributed to Calhoun. Speaks was reported missing shortly after Smith's body was discovered. Her body was found on April 8, 2023, in an abandoned barn in Ridgefield, Washington, located just north of Portland. The Clark County Medical Examiner's Office determined that Speaks had suffered blunt force trauma to her head and neck, a brutal indication of violence that suggested a possible escalation in Calhoun's criminal behavior. The location where her body was discovered, an abandoned barn, was both remote and obscure, providing a chilling reflection of the killer's efforts to evade detection. Charity Lynn Perry, 24, was the third victim linked to Calhoun. Perry's body was discovered on April 24, 2023, in a culvert near Ainsworth State Park. Her murder was reportedly committed on March 8, 2023. The distance between the date of her death and the discovery of her body highlights the calculated nature of her murder and the subsequent relocation of her corpse. The choice of the culvert as a hiding place points to Calhoun's methodical approach to concealing his crimes. The discovery of Perry's body further intensified the investigation, linking Calhoun more firmly to a pattern of targeted violence. Bridget Leanne Webster, 31, was the fourth victim. Her murder occurred on April 26, 2023, with her body being found just days later on April 30, 2023, near Harmony Road in Polk County. The rapid movement of her body after her death indicates a possible attempt by Calhoun to quickly cover his tracks. The choice of location, near a creek and within a rural area, reflects a continued pattern of placing bodies in remote or less trafficked areas. Webster's death added a further layer of complexity to the investigation, linking her case to the broader pattern of violence attributed to Calhoun. Ashley Reel, 22, was discovered as the fifth known victim on May 7, 2023, in Eagle Creek. Her body was found after the earlier discovery of the other victims, and while her death was initially considered linked to the same perpetrator, her connection to Calhoun has been more ambiguous. The timing and location of her body, discovered in a separate geographic area from the other victims, suggest either an evolution in Calhoun's methodology or a possible link to other unsolved cases. The discovery of Reel's body underscored the need for a comprehensive investigation to determine the full extent of Calhoun's alleged crimes. What ties these victims together, apart from the evident brutality of their deaths, is the pattern observed in the locations where their bodies were found. Each victim was discovered in relatively remote or obscure settings, indicating a deliberate effort to avoid detection. The choice of such locations, wooded areas, abandoned buildings, culverts, and rural roads, reflects a methodical approach to concealment. Additionally, the variation in time between the murders and the discovery of the bodies points to a pattern of relocating the corpses to avoid immediate detection and forensic investigation. The similarities in the nature of the crimes, combined with the methodical handling of the bodies, suggest a perpetrator who was not only aware of the investigative process but actively sought to manipulate it. The pattern of body relocation and the choice of remote locations reveal a disturbing level of planning and awareness of law enforcement tactics. The investigation into Jesse Lee Calhoun's alleged crimes reveals a disturbing pattern of violence and manipulation. The detailed examination of each victim's case shows a deliberate and calculated approach by Calhoun, reflecting a deep-seated propensity for violence and a sophisticated understanding of criminal evasion. The connection between these cases and the overall pattern of behavior will continue to be critical as the investigation unfolds and as Calhoun faces trial for these heinous acts. The investigation into Calhoun's alleged crimes has been complex and multifaceted. Serial killers often exhibit specific behaviors that make their capture challenging. They carefully select their victims, choose locations that minimize the risk of detection, and often manipulate evidence to avoid leaving a clear trail. The difficulty in linking these murders can be attributed to these factors, compounded by jurisdictional boundaries that can slow the investigative process. Initially, Calhoun was identified as a person of interest in the deaths of multiple women, including Smith, Reel, Perry, Speaks, and Webster. Law enforcement agencies across various jurisdictions had to collaborate, sharing information and resources to piece together the evidence. This involved analyzing forensic evidence, conducting interviews, and reviewing surveillance footage to establish links between the victims and the suspect. The indictment of Calhoun on May 16, 2024 for the murders of Perry, Speaks, and Webster involved a detailed examination of the evidence. Grand jury proceedings, typically shrouded in secrecy, likely included testimony from eyewitnesses, forensic experts, and possibly even statements from Calhoun himself. Julie Rendelman, a legal analyst, speculates that the evidence presented could have included DNA links, circumstantial evidence, and witness testimonies, though specifics remain undisclosed. An intriguing aspect of Calhoun's case is his prior grant of clemency by former Oregon Governor Kate Brown. In 2020, Calhoun was serving a prison sentence when he was granted clemency for his work assisting with wildfires. This decision has sparked controversy, as it appears to have been made without knowledge of Calhoun's alleged involvement in these murders. The clemency granted to him was part of a broader effort to release individuals who had demonstrated positive behavior and contributed to wildfire relief efforts. The fact that Calhoun was granted clemency, only to be later implicated in a series of murders, raises questions about the oversight and decision-making process involved in such clemency decisions. It underscores the challenges in balancing rehabilitative opportunities with public safety. The investigation into Calhoun's alleged crimes is ongoing, with law enforcement officials continuing to explore the possibility of additional victims. The complexity of the case is heightened by the potential for links to other jurisdictions, including neighboring states such as Washington and California. Serial killers often operate across state lines, making it essential for investigators to collaborate across jurisdictions to uncover the full extent of their crimes. Investigators are working to connect Calhoun to other unsolved cases or unexplained disappearances. The process involves examining patterns in his behavior, potential connections to other crime scenes, and analyzing any available forensic evidence. As of now, Jesse Calhoun has pleaded not guilty and is being held in the Multnomah County Detention Center and will remain there in custody while facing 3 counts each of second-degree murder and abuse of a corpse. The legal process will involve several stages, including pretrial motions, hearings, and eventually, a trial where the prosecution will present its case and the defense will challenge the evidence. Amidst the horrifying revelations surrounding Jesse Lee Calhoun's alleged crimes, a window into his personal life has emerged through an exclusive interview with Krista Senor, an ex-girlfriend who provides a disturbing glimpse into Calhoun's domestic world. Senor, who has remained in contact with Calhoun, offers unsettling insights into their relationship and living conditions, painting a picture of a troubled and volatile individual. Krista Senor, 43, met Calhoun online via Facebook, and their relationship quickly became fraught with tension and conflict. Senor's accounts reveal a relationship marked by emotional and physical abuse. She describes instances where Calhoun's anger manifested in physical actions, including throwing her onto the bed during arguments. There was a few times that things weren't going the way he was hoping to go and he would throw me to the side. You know, but on the bed. You know, Senor recounted, illustrating the erratic and sometimes aggressive behavior that characterized their interactions. Senor also described Calhoun's tendency to isolate himself when angry. He would reportedly ask for space, saying, Don't talk to me, just know that I can't be talked to for a few minutes. You know, when I get angry, just let me be and we'll discuss it later. This behavior hints at a pattern of controlling and unpredictable responses to stress or conflict, further complicating the dynamic within their relationship. Despite the tumultuous nature of their relationship, Sinor continues to stay in touch with Calhoun through phone calls and letters. Her ongoing communication with him reflects a sense of bewilderment and disbelief over the recent developments. "I'm still in shock over this. It's just surreal," Sinor said in a statement to the Oregon Live on July 19, 2023. Her continued contact with Calhoun underscores the emotional complexity of her situation and the profound impact the accusations have had on her perception of reality. Earlier this year, investigators conducted a thorough search of Sinor's apartment, where some of Calhoun's belongings were still present. This search not only underscores the seriousness of the investigation but also reveals the extent to which Calhoun's personal life intertwined with Sinor's. The presence of his belongings in her home speaks to their close relationship and the difficulties Sinor faces as she processes the gravity of the allegations against him. In addition to the personal turmoil, Sinor's statements hint at a troubling connection between Calhoun and at least two of the victims. While specific details about these connections remain unclear, the possibility that Calhoun knew some of the victims adds another layer of complexity to the investigation. Sinor's shock and confusion are echoed by Calhoun's family and friends, who are similarly struggling to reconcile their understanding of him with the horrifying charges he faces. Krista Sinor's revelations offer a disturbing yet essential perspective on Jesse Calhoun's life outside the criminal allegations. Her accounts of their tumultuous relationship and the ongoing impact of the situation provide crucial context for understanding Calhoun's personal dynamics and the broader implications of his alleged actions. As the investigation continues, these personal insights help paint a fuller picture of the man behind the accusations and the unsettling reality faced by those who knew him. The case of Jesse Lee Calhoun represents a chilling chapter in the study of serial killers. The detailed examination of his alleged crimes, the investigative challenges, and the controversy surrounding his clemency highlight the complexities involved in such cases. As the legal process unfolds, the focus remains on seeking justice for the victims and understanding the full extent of Calhoun's actions. The narrative of this case serves as a reminder of the importance of vigilance, thorough investigation, and collaboration among law enforcement agencies to address and prevent such heinous crimes.